non-success or failure is the result of the wrong decisions, logically. And a lot of that, in my experience, comes from listening to the wrong people. Mm-hmm. And we need to be able to focus on what are the right ideas and be able, again, to have that judgment. And one of the ways to do that, I think, is to have a positive outlook for the future. If we think the future is going to be negative, then there's not much point doing anything. So we've got to look, whatever happens, I believe that yesterday's dead. So I learned this from one of my students. One of my students said, "Yesterday's dead," and I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, it's pretty much true. It affects what we do today, but there's absolutely zero that we can change about it. Mm-hmm. So we can learn from it, but we can't change it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a really interesting way to look at things, like, the decisions of yesterday are dead, which is kind of good, because it means you can still change anything. If it was the wrong decision, you can change it and make the right decision. And if you can't do anything, then you can't do anything anyway. So, we've all seen the T-shirt that says, "Shit happens." Right? So it doesn't make things any easier or any better, and it doesn't solve any problems. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that... you know what it's like in a meeting? A certain amount of information is positive, and a certain amount of information is negative. Mm-hmm. If you focus on the negative too much, it grows. It grows to become something bigger than it should be. And if you can have the intelligence, because it's an intelligent, if you can have the intelligence to realize what is negative, but not make it your focus, right? Not make it. You can say, "We know that's negative. Okay, let's look at this, right? Mm-hmm. This didn't work. Okay, we can analyze why and we can make it better, but we're not gonna." As we say in English, we don't cry after we spill milk, because it's done. Yeah. It's done. So own up, man up, as we say. Mm. Right? Own up and realize that things were not correct. Realize the mistakes we made. Realize who we listened to that was wrong and who we didn't listen to that was right, and take those steps forward, which is harder in bigger organizations because you're dealing with a lot of people, and all problems essentially come from people because it's the result of people's decisions. And the really difficult intelligent thing to do is to separate the person from the decision, which is really difficult because decisions are part of your character. Mm-hmm. But I really appreciate it when someone can say to me, "I disagree with that idea, but I respect your experience that makes you that makes you choose that. Mm-hmm. I understand what makes you choose that. I can understand why your experience teaches you that this is the right answer. And at the same time, my experience teaches me that there's another answer to that as well, which is why I have started to not use a lot of personal language in my discussions with people. I tend to say there is more than one perspective, and I think this is a good way to look at it. It's a good way to present information is to say to someone, do you know that there's a counter argument to that? I'm not saying that I disagree with you. I'm saying, do you know the counter argument? Mm-hmm. Do you know what people argue against that point? Do you know the other perspectives? and then you get a chance to see what the other person knows, and then you can also introduce the other perspectives without making them personal, without saying this is my idea. Because I tend not to do that in larger forums and situations. I don't want to say, look, this is my idea. What I want to say is, there are people who see things this way, which is a different way. And then people say, but you said that. Yes, but I didn't say that was my opinion. In this way, you protect yourself against personal attacks. Because a lot of the negativity that comes from people is not a problem with the idea, it's a problem with the person who presents the idea. And if you don't put yourself into the debate, if you don't put yourself into the discussion, then you cannot be attacked. And you can always step back from it by saying, I didn't present my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is there's another side. Some people will see this differently. Do you know what the other side is? Have you analyzed it? Because the intelligent person is always able to present their opponent's argument for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you get one step ahead, like a game of chess. You know you got to think 3 or 4 moves ahead. And I know this is natural to people in business like you, but it's still not natural to a lot of other people, that they're not thinking 2 or 3 or 4 moves ahead. It's like, I'm going to do this, and I'll see what they do, and then depending on what they do, I'll see what I do. It's like, well, no, you kind of have to know what you're going to do when they're going to do what they're going to do, and have things pre-prepared or pre-planned in your head a little bit before, and also kind of disconnect yourself from the element of life, which is a game, which is the fact that a lot of people want to win in the sense that you lose. Right? A lot of people will want to beat you or drag you down so that you lose and they win, but they can't do that if you distance yourself from the comments that you make, which is, there's another side, there's another perspective. Some people see things this way. What is your perspective on their perspective? Right? I'm here to mediate. I'm not here to criticize or to be a critic or to be criticized either. So I have to deal with a lot of difficult situations related to mediation in a lot of my relationships, and when I'm sitting around the dinner table of life, right, and people have different perspectives that are very strong, I need to make sure that I'm not going to be personally attacked by anything. And I do this by first asking people, do you know the counter argument to that? Do you know it? Do you understand it? Because there's more. There's always more. There we go.